let's just jump right into it. Now, women deal with a lot in terms of body image. And I know Britt and I have previously discussed about loving the skin that we were in. So if you haven't heard that episode, definitely go check that out. Now, I wanted to ask you guys, um, in comparison to men, do you find men have more pressure to have the perfect bodies? Why is there so much pressure on women in comparison to men?
Yeah, it's hard to say why that is, but it definitely does seem to be the way that it is. But I do find that men also feel pressure to have perfect bodies as well. Maybe not as much as women. We're as a society we're very focused on what women look like and setting out those body image ideals through models, especially now with social media platforms like Instagram and even OnlyFans.
All right.
We as a society have so many expectations of what women should look like. So I definitely think there's a lot more emphasis on that, and it's more acceptable for men to have the dad bod that is seen as a positive thing for the most part, I think. But we haven't really normalized it in a mainstream way for women to have various different body types, as much as it is more accepted for men. Yeah, I do think they do have some pressure as well, though.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like to me, being a dude, I don't feel that pressure to say I need to have the perfect body, like in the average, average society lifestyle. Like, I mean, I guess there's certain professions, like, for men that they definitely have to have quote unquote the perfect body. But in my case, I don't feel like men have that pressure at all. At least I don't feel they have that much pressure. Like you said, like with the dad bod thing in average society, I mean, I'm telling you, like the fact that people, don't shun the idea of having a beer belly as opposed to a woman that is basically that's just asking for people to find reasons to hate on you, like whether it's through social media or even in person for that matter. Um,
I
I
think
just
also, if I could just add,
Mhm.
with women, we kind of have this expectation that women should be thinner or have the hourglass figure shape,
Mhm.
whereas with men, I think a lot of men have a lot of pressure to not be too skinny.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like it seems like it's totally unfair, mind you, that women have to be more sexually and sexually appealing and referred to as quote unquote eye candy, no matter
Mm-hmm.
which walk of life you're in, whether it's through work, whether it's through you know modeling, whatever. Like women are basically viewed as such eye candy ish levels that having anything but an eye candy looking body is just asking for people to be, negative or condescending or quite frankly just disgusting towards, towards those women. And it's completely unfair.
Mm-hmm.
And quite frankly, that's why I don't feel like men have that kind of pressure at all
Yeah,
when it
because I
comes to
feel like
having the
as
ideal body.
men's bodies haven't been sexualized like that. It's
Exactly.
always been women's bodies, no matter. And because if we think about back in, man, not even like, let's say 50 years ago, the
Mhm.
ideal sexual body, the oh my God, the perfect body for women looks completely different than what we
Yep.
expect nowadays. Nowadays, it's all about that plastic fake body, the big booty, the BBL surgeries, all that stuff. Whereas back then, it was like a skinny body, or you wanted a tiny waist and tiny hips. Everything had to be just so. And 50 years from now, it's not going to be the same as it is now. But the one thing that stayed consistent through time has been this focus on sexualizing women's bodies as opposed to men's
Mhm.
bodies, and seeing a woman as something that is to look a certain way, right? You're saying that eye candy for men, but for women, it's not that. You don't need to have a guy with a perfect body. You just want to have a nice guy or whatever. So I think maybe that also plays into it too, where it's like men
kind of want the eye candy, and maybe you could speak on that. Maybe there's a focus more on looks for men as opposed to women. We just more often than not, we just want like a good guy, a nice guy, a funny guy, whatever, and we don't really care. We can oversee certain things that we don't like sexually or, physically, and just say, oh, well, he's a nice guy, and that's it. And then that makes him more attractive to us. But for the guys, it seems to be
Yeah.
more of a focus on, well, does she have a big ass? Does she got big tits? Like,
Yeah, it's true. I mean, that's the shame in all this, no doubt. Like the appeal of the opposite sex is so different as far as what we're attracted to. Like women, I guess. I mean, in the sense where they're attracted to that guy. Yes, he may have the perfect body, but does he have a great personality?
exactly.
Like I mean, at the end of the day, like women don't have that luxury. They just don't, or at least nowadays, still they don't, and that's where that line has been drawn. Where I could look like a dad bod, but if I have a great personality where I'm funny, I make some girl laugh. Oh boy, boom, I'm in. But women don't have that luxury.
And all of a
You
sudden,
gotta
that dad bod kind of looks cute to them too.
word, and that's the
Right?
crazy part. Like, that is what's crazy to me is that yeah, like you can eventually look like beer gut sort of tank top hanging with belly hanging over your belt, but like some people might actually find that appealing, where
Yeah.
women don't have that luck at all.
And
And
same thing for like wrinkles, as let's say for an actor and actress that age, as that actress gets
ooh,
older, well, then it's like, oh, she's kind of typecast into like the mom or grandma roles. But then the
right.
older man, it's fine. Like he's still hot. Like George Clooney is still considered hot. And he's
He
how
was the
old?
first guy, no homo, but he was the first guy I was thinking of. Like, George Clooney looks like that, that next level, like elder statesman that 20-year-olds would be like, oh my god, he's so hot. Like he's that dude. Like Idris Elba, same thing. Like he's
Oh,
older,
yeah. Yeah.
but I mean, he doesn't look terrible. He looks great, and women don't get that. They don't have that means of saying, "Yo, she looks pretty damn good for an older woman," and get casted into like a young person's role, where men can get away with that easily in the movie business.
Yeah.